The City Council special meeting of Monday, August 15th to order. Can I ask the City Clerk to please call the roll?
Mayor Flores is absent tonight. Deputy Mayor Tharp.
Present.
Councilmember Noble.
Here.
Councilmember Dugo.
Here.
Councilmember Diaz.
Present.
Councilmember Bousquet.
Here.
And Deputy Mayor, we have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilmember Bousquet, second by Councilmember Diaz. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Comments from the public for agenda items. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward. State your name and address for the record. All right. Seeing none. Moving on to regular agenda. Our fiscal year 2023 budget review. Terry Barringer and Andrew McHugh presenting. Do we need anything read? Sorry. No. All right.
Good evening, Deputy Mayor, City Council, Terry Barringer, Finance Director. We're just going to go through some of the updates on the budget and answer some of the questions that you had requested last time. So we'll go through the first slide of our general fund. Some updates have happened, not too many. This is our forecast. Now, this is the last time we had a forecast up until May. This is our forecast up until June. That's June 2022 of this year. July has ended, but we have not closed those books yet. There was not too many changes since the last time. Go to the next slide. And
You can ask a question?
Go ahead.
The net revenue to expenditures, does that mean that's the plus? We're going to wind up with that amount of money extra?
2.2, yes. And you can see a lot of that is coming from intergovernmental revenue.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The next slide kind of compares our forecast to the budget for 2023. Now, keep in mind that this does include the $3.5 million that we talked about last time, and the positions that we have forecasted, budgeted. Not all the positions come in at one time. Some of them are tiered throughout the year. Their start dates are tiered throughout the years. And now we just got notice last week that there might be, well, not might be, but there is a lower cost or favorable cost in our health insurance, which has not been reported on here. The next slide shows the projections throughout the year, throughout the next 5 years. Now keep in mind that 2024 we will be paying off our loan for the City Hall and Public Works. And in looking at the next slide, it kind of projects us as to how we're going to be in our unassigned reserve. Now remember, our Council Policy 18, our unassigned reserve needs to be at least 25%. With these projections right now, we won't see that till 2027. So our next one is our millage rate. Now we put this slide in here to show you how the other cities and MTSOs are doing on their millage rate this year. The ones in yellow are those that show a decrease in their millage. Now this is the preliminary millage. They can go down, but they can't go up. The one in, I want to say peach, is one that is going up. The ones in yellow are the ones that's going down. And again, they can lower their next meetings, but they can't raise it. Now the next slide is something that was requested from the last meeting. So we have taken a millage rate and kind of calculated what it would be on other different millage rates, lowering it 0.1%, well, 0.1 throughout the scenarios. Now, 0.1 equates to about $243,000 each time we lower it.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Since I was so emphatic that we maintain a ratio, a millage rate of 6.40, I realize the county lowered theirs, and just looking at these figures here, I just want to change my position. I'm amenable to a small minor reduction in the rate. But I also, that's one point. The other point I want us to look at is if we go all the way out to the 6.4 millage proposal, if you look at that column of income, the point I want to bring out, and Ms. Diaz, I want to bring this out as well for you. So it shows that our ad valorem taxes is $15 million plus revenue. But if you look at the column beneath that, that represents $21 million of money that this city exists on because our staff collects that money. That's money that's due to the city, and it has to be followed up and diligently collected. And that's $21 million, which is substantially more than what our taxpayers are paying. And I bring out the fact that most people, if they look at their tax notice, they will find that under Green Acres, they'll find that they're probably paying $400 or $500 taxes for the city, which pays for everything that we do in the city. And then if they go down the line and they look at the school board line, and they'll find that they're paying double the amount that they're paying to the city for school board. And I can assure you that no one has any kids in school or grandkids in school, and we've been paying that double rate all these years. So our citizens, I hope, appreciate what we're doing.
And the next slide is just our comparison to our rollback rate. And then the next one, of course, is our graft. So if you have any questions or...
Yes. It's not time for us to discuss tax rates and rollbacks. We made a decision what we were going to report to the tax collector. Is that correct?
We did have to report the initial one. Now
Right.
we can go down. We did 6.4. Now we can go down. We can't go up.
No,
But we will.
It's not time to make the decision.
No. We will need that information because the next meeting we have on September 14th is the first reading of the budget. So we need direction from the council tonight that tells us where we're going from here.
You need a millage rate.
Yes, we need a millage rate. We need a millage rate. September 14th is our first meeting regarding the budget. So we will need some direction. And again, as our finance director said, every 0.1 mill equates to about $243,000. So we will need some kind of direction.
Do you have any more slides or?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, Councilmember Dugo.
So 247,000 is a lot per point. I remember years and years and years ago when we were on the brink of a recession. At that time it ended up a recession. We ended up having to lay off people. We have a lot of projects in mind, and I understand we got a $3.5 million unassigned reserve, but I cannot see taking a chance on maybe cutting back services, maybe laying off employees. I'm very comfortable, and I'm on record saying 6.40. I can't see reducing that. That's just my comment after looking at the figures.
Any other comments or questions before we start discussing wherever we want to land?
Are we working on that right now? Are we working on a number right now?
We have to come out of this meeting this evening with a number for staff.
Well, then I'd like to make another comment.
Absolutely. Councilmember Noble.
Again, this is all proposed, and I think we would feel better as council people if we looked at what we had and what we received and gifts that we received, that we made a gesture by lowering it by a small amount, at least. So I would forego the $243,000 if that's what it, and focus my thoughts on I think the 6.3 millage is a possible figure that we should use.
Councilmember Diaz.
I do apologize because I'm a little confused now with how much we have in that reserve. I thought we had mentioned we had a high percentage in our reserve, of which I thought we had to have a certain percentage, and our percentage was way higher than that, which is why I had mentioned exploring lowering our millage.
Correct. The unassigned reserve, if you go to page 6 of your packet, you'll see that the unassigned reserve, the forecast for ending fiscal year 2022, it would end at 46%.
And what is our
The requirement is 25% based on Council Policy 18.
We are well over our required, and I'm not saying let's spend it, but I am saying that if we can take a little bit of that and provide a little bit of relief for our residents by lowering the millage 0.1 or 0.2, that I think is a very great goodwill gesture. I know we have, some dollars we're going to be spending that I know they're not from this, they're from the America Rescue Act and whatnot. But, we're going to be building a new fire station, a new EOC, and I just feel like, sharing a little bit of what we have with our residents, it's a gesture of goodwill.
Mayor, Deputy,
Councilmember Bousquet.
I go back and forth between, do we roll it back, roll it back 0.1 or 0.2 or keep it the same, and we have good arguments either way. I would like to go back at least 0.1 as a good gesture, good faith gesture.
I have a question to.
Sure.
This is, I guess, Andrea and Jerry both. We have some major capital projects.
Correct.
Yes, the City Hall. Yes, the fire station.
Mm-hmm.
In no way do I ever want to cut back services at the community center for our seniors, for anybody. And I know some are grants. Would cutting this back, we're already cutting, we're giving people an additional $5,000 if you're in low income, homestead exemption. Could this possibly shortchange us in some areas?
I don't know what I can't predict what the market is going to do next year. I don't know what it looks like. We do have some pretty big projects coming forward. We're building a third fire station. We're building an emergency operations center. We're building a new youth programs building. We are going to next fiscal year go through an assessment of this building to determine what our future needs are, because we are pretty much busting at the seams at this building at this point. So there will be a recommendation to the council at some point where we go forward with what we're going to do here. So there are some big projects. I think where we are right now, the way we look right now, it doesn't seem as though it's going to be a major impact, but I can't predict what's going to happen, next year if we do have, economic conditions that, provide for situations where, things get a little tight. But as of right now, based on what we're looking at as projected revenue from intergovernmental, from the state, those types of things, those things are trending very well.
I know the cost of goods are going to go up if we can find the goods to do some of our work. And I know that, we went and did the recycle clothing program because it was a $20,000 source of income for us. And I know we have no income except this. I mean, I really commend my council colleagues because I know it's coming from the goodness of your heart. I just came back from a World Economical Council, and I just am comfortable with 6.40.
Councilmember Noble.
So you know, I'm very sympathetic what your comments are, Ms. Dugo, and I agree with you. And one point, though, I don't think this city, as we've gone through tough times, and I'm going back 20 years from ago, that we were really in bad times. We never laid anyone off. Okay, all right. Now, because we have so many projects, and we are talking, and I'm talking a difference of $243,000 is the price, since I'm talking about 6.3. We can always make the adjustments with these projects if we see a turn of events. And I think we are in good hands with our staff, who are aware of any major change that would put us in jeopardy. Now, I do agree with you. We don't want to overextend ourselves, and I'm hoping that we're not, but I don't think we are. And I think it would be a good faith for our citizens to realize that we did lower it fractionally, at least.
What?
Oh, Councilmember Dugo.
On that one slide, if you could go back to it where it states the taxes for all the cities in the county. I don't know, I was looking for Royal Palm. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Wellington, West Palm. Thank you for pulling the slide back up for me. Thank you.
This is helpful.
All right, any other comments? All right, so I'm going to chime in I'll go last. This is tough because economic times are tough. Everyone is being impacted. We're being impacted as well. I do see an opportunity, and I am going to agree with Mr. Noble. A gesture. It's I'll round up, $250,000. And I have nothing but the utmost in confidence in staff that if we went to 6.3, they historically have always been very conservative on the revenues and very bullish on the expenditures, which I thank you for. I think if we make 6.3, I think staff will always figure it out because they do an amazing job. So that's where I stand. So does anybody want to make a recommendation on a millage rate?
I move that we use the millage rate of 6.3 as our final figure.
Second.
All right, I got a motion by Councilmember Noble for 6.3, second by Councilmember Bousquet. All in favor?
Aye.
No.
And Ms. Dugo is in opposition, so that passes 4-1 for a millage rate of 6.3.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, comments from the public on agenda items. Anybody from the public wishing to come forward? Seeing none, we have the city managers and attorneys report. I think we'll skip because we just did those. Anything additional from the mayor or from the council?
All good.
Looking for a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
Adjourned.